Hey everyone, Alex here. In the last video we created this foundation for our full set editing theme. So in this quick video I'm gonna fix this letter spacing issue and work a little bit on the header. So first, for letter spacing, I noticed that we need to apply some negative spacing here to make it look nicer like this. So that's what we are going to do, and we will apply it to each heading, right? So first of all, we need to create a custom, what do you call it here, custom property, right? This is how you create a custom property. Under the settings we have custom, and here we have like spacing and then like H1. So, and here we have a letter spacing, and we will just set it to 0.05 -0.05 EM. And how you apply it is basically like, if you search here, basically here, as you can see, we have line height tiny, right? And it's set here to line height tiny. So what we need here is, let's see, for each heading here under the elements we will apply letter spacing, and this property will set to, let's see, we'll make it dynamic so that we can change it all in one place. So we'll add var, and then basically I'll just copy some of this here and paste here. So this is how WordPress generate these custom properties, the one that we created here, right? Right here. So we have this kind of like format, WP custom, and then here is what we need is typography, letter spacing. I think this should be enough. Let's copy it into our H2. Let's paste it here and save it and refresh, and hopefully, yeah, and as you can see, it's now fixed. So our H1 and H2 right now have a negative letter spacing. By the way, this one is H2 here, I noticed, so I'm gonna change it to H1 since this is the main heading on the page. The main H1 title should be H1, I think. So I convert it into H1, and let's copy this property and apply it for every other heading size. So right here, and right here. So now all our headings will have this custom letter spacing, which is -0.05. So now it looks almost exactly as here. And next I'm gonna quickly try to fix this header, right? So first of all, we have a specific class here that I can just copy from here and then apply it here, but we need to choose where we want to apply it. So this class must be applied to this group right here, and our header become transparent. And then next I'm gonna remove this margin here from our cover block. I'll just go here and set my margin top to be 0. And then let's save it. So now we have a transparent header, and then this hero section underneath, right? So what we want next is that to apply this blur effect, right? So this one is unfortunately, yeah, we cannot achieve this natively, so we have to use some custom CSS. So that's what we are going to do here. And let's see, so we want to apply it basically to our columns, maybe. Let's try. Or we will need maybe another custom group. Let's try to apply it to columns first. So what we'll need here is we'll need some custom additional class. So I'll just call it on a background blur. Let's try. And so I'm adding this custom class, right, on a background blur, and I'm gonna create a additional block, and I'll just type HTML, and this will be custom HTML. This is where we are gonna insert our class, and to this class we will apply backdrop. Let me see, I always forgetting about this, so let's just check it right here. So it's backdrop filter. Okay, so we add backdrop filter blur 6 pixels. Okay, and then we close it, and then we close our style tag like so. So let's see if this works, right? So let's try to save it first. Click preview and click save and refresh. Yeah, and as you can see that it works. So you see that our background is blurry right now, right? That's what we want. That's what we have here. And I don't know, in front and an editor it's probably invisible, right? I cannot see it here, so, but that's fine as long as we have it right here. And then here we should have a logo, and basically we don't want it, we don't want to stretch it, right, too much. So we can apply what we have here is like 1140, right, 1170, maybe something like this. Let's see, if we click preview here, and then these links will change it to white. So next I'm gonna just add some let's see, what we want to add is some padding, right? We want some padding. For now, I'll just add in this, and then border. We want our border radius, and then our stroke, right? So our border radius here, let's see, 16 pixels. So I'll just add it here, 16 pixel, and then 1 pixel border. And color, I'll set it to be, in this case, it's a custom white color. That is 1% or 10%, I think. We'll try to add it like this. 1 pixel border, 1%. Let's save it. And let's preview in here. Okay, and here, as you can see, yeah, we have this, and it's 0.1. Yeah, so it's 10, basically. It's 10. Let's try. Yeah, it's 10. I think it's the same. It looks, yeah, it looks almost the same, right? Let's try. 6 pixels. Yeah, it looks almost the same. Then next we need logo here, and these links should be white, and we will align them to the right. So what are we gonna do is, in this case, I'm thinking that this probably should be one column instead of, because we have 2 columns here. So I'm gonna move this navigation into this column right here, and I'm gonna delete this column because it's no longer needed. And then I'm gonna change width of my column. So this is 25, and this one would be 75. And we have a line middle here, all right. And let's see, navigation alignment. We don't need to justify anything here. What we want here is that this navigation and button will be in line. So how to achieve this is pretty simple. I'm going to select it, add it into the group, and just make it row. Right? That's how simple it is. And then align them to the right. And now I'm quickly will change these colors, right? So let's go and click navigation, go settings, make it light, right? And let's update our logo, right? Let's click upload. Let's see what we have here in our library. We don't have logo. Yeah, I did not prepare a logo. So this can be any image basically. So I'm gonna prepare and upload logo later. And for now, let's just keep it like this, right? Let's save it, refresh again our front end, and let's see how it looks with our new structure. So looking great, right? Almost the same what we have here. What we have is our hero and our header. Okay, so next I'm going to upload our logo, then fix our mobile navigation, and maybe fix this button, and we are gonna finish on this. So let's try to, first I'm gonna update my logo, right? So by the way, it's by default, I think you cannot upload SVG logos, so I'm gonna, let's see if I can upload or no. Yeah, I'm not allowed, so I'm gonna add some changes and get back. Okay, so I got my logo. The reason why you cannot upload logos is by default WordPress is not allowing it, so I had to do add some activate basically the to allow SVG upload. So now we have this logo, then I'm gonna insert it here. So SVGs are good because they are scalable and fully responsive, so you don't need to worry about quality. And next, I noticed that when I was doing some tests, I noticed that there is a problem with the responsive menu, and I'll show you it right now. So when you click this, as you can see that our responsive menu is not properly opening in full screen, and that's because of our blur property, because basically what's happening is that this property that we added for background blur is containing our full side mobile menu inside in this navigation. So we have to add some condition to not to apply it on mobile menu. And if you open the mobile menu, as you can see that there is a class has modal open, right? So we are going to add this right here. So just add root not has modal open on a background blur. So what this does is, let's try to test it, is that we are basically telling that if modal is not open, then we want to apply this blur. Because when we open the modal, we don't want the blur so that our mobile menu works properly. And as you can see, it is now working perfect. So that is a small fix, right? So then I'm gonna try to fix these buttons and we are gonna wrap up. So I also noticed this some weird spacing here, but this is like a small details. I can fix it later. So let's fix buttons first. So we want to change this to get in touch. So I'll just change it here. And for this start here. And I'm gonna remove this arrow. This is our custom style here that we can just turn off like this, and let's save it. So next I want to make these buttons a little bit smaller, so it means that I need to reduce the paddings, and I can do this globally from my theme.json. So I can basically go in my buttons, right, globally, that are styled globally. Let me see, where is this here? Styles block. So these are my global button styles. And I can change my calc here. This, like there's CSS function here, to something smaller. So for example, this is a vertical padding, right? So let's make it 1, and let's save it. I'm not gonna measure exactly here. I'll just use my eyes to estimate, and if I'm satisfied, I'm gonna leave it like this. So I think that, let's see, I think that it can be smaller. So we are going to just open this browser, and I'll just change it right here. So I think that it would be easier. So instead of 1 EM, I'll just use 0.5 or 0.7, right? 0.8. Yeah, I think 0.8 looks better. And then for horizontal would be 1 or 1.2. Yeah, this one looks fine. So I'm going to put here 0.8, and here is 1 EM. Then refresh, and we should get, yeah, these styles here. The next is I'm going to try to, I'll try to add this gradient. And let's add gradient. Actually, I noticed that these buttons look a little bit small right now, so I'm gonna keep it 1 EM. Let's try. It's also not good to have buttons that look small. This button here we can make a bit smaller, so I'll just go and individually style this button here. So I'll just select this button, and I'll change its vertical padding to be something like this, and then horizontal padding to be something like this. So I style this button basically individually, so that it won't affect my other buttons. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. I think I can do it even less here. Let's make it like this, and let's refresh here. So this button, I want to keep it a little bit smaller, maybe too much small. And this one is like main hero button, can be a little bit larger. So next is our gradients. Okay. So to add gradients, we have to, I actually opened some additional resources here. You can navigate into this if you want. This is a great resource, fullsetediting.com. Here you can see everything. You can find all the information about styling, and what I want in this case is to add my custom gradient, right? So I'm going to use it as a reference. So under the settings color, I want to add gradient, and I'll apply it to my buttons, right? I think, let's see what we have here, and this is our output. Okay, so we should get basically this generated CSS property, right? So let's try to go settings, color gradients. Here, as you can see, we don't have gradients, right? So we'll just I'll try to type here gradients, and I'll just add this custom gradient right here. Okay, and what we have in this gradients array is object, and under this object we have gradient, name, and slag, right? Let's see. Yep. So I'll just copy this from here and I'll just modify it. First, let's try to apply this. So how it works is that we should get new gradient appearing in our global palette, right? So where we have our color palette, we should now see also this gradient. So first I'm gonna test it, and then if it works, I'll just try to add it to these buttons here, try to apply this property. So and then I'll basically just add my numbers here and change it to my own gradient, right? So let's see. So I'll just click on any element, go in my properties, click background, gradient. Okay, and now I see this gradient, and as you can see that it works, right? So now I'll just add my own gradient instead. So I'll just select my button here and then basically just copy this gradient, and then I'll just paste it here and then I'll format it accordingly. So this is my gradient. I can also use variables here. I think yeah, we'll try to do that. So first I'll give it a name. So it's what is this? Blue. Let's see. Light blue to blue. I don't know actually how to call it. I'll just call it light blue to blue. That would be the slug, and then light blue to blue. This is the name, right? That will appear in dashboard, and then here we have this property here. So just paste it here, and I think there is parenthesis missing. So let's try to first let's test this. I'll save it and see if it works here. And if it works, I'll also try to use variables here. I notice I also made a typo here. So it's blue, and then if it works, I'll just try to apply it globally to my buttons to achieve this gradient here. So I think that WordPress should generate a custom property for this, and I can just apply it globally. So we'll see. So first I'll just select this button, check if my gradient appeared here. Okay, it's here, and let's apply it, and as you can see, it works. So next I'm gonna I'll try to add variables here, okay. So this color here, this 41, this is our primary, right? So we have primary, and this is our primary slug. So I'll just try to copy this, and let's see, and I'll just try to add it here. And then this 39, this is our secondary. So I'll just also copy this, paste here, and then just type secondary here. Let's try to save it again and refresh. And if it works, we should get a fully working gradient. And we are gonna just apply it to our, and from what I understand, that it will just generate preset for this gradient that we can use across our website or apply to individual elements like buttons. So we are gonna apply to our buttons globally in this case. So let's try to test it again that it works. Okay, again I'm selecting button, go here, background, gradient, and it works. And let's try to check what we have here. If I inspect this element, I think I should get a custom property here. Let's see if it works. Yep, it's right here. Yeah, this one. This is our property. So just copy this, and now I can just apply it to our buttons globally using this here, to our, let's see, to our background. I'll apply this. And by the way, I notice that our text is as a background here. I think we are going to fix it later. So, but for now, I'll just leave it like this. So let's try to apply it and refresh. And we are getting closer already, right? Oh, so it did not work. Let's see, blue to blue. Maybe, okay, there is a gradient property here. Okay. Should I use gradient property instead? Let's try to add our gradient property instead. And refresh. Yeah, so I haven't tested. Okay, yeah, it's gradient. I see now. So it's a gradient property that we applied instead of background. Okay, so our background can be, I think, any color here that we want. So, but we need, in this case, we need gradient, and it looks almost fine. By the way, about hovers, right? Hovers, we can also fix that. But for now, I don't have any styles for hovers. I'm gonna leave it like this, and we will tweak it probably in the next video. And let's try also select our heading here, and let's check our margin bottom. It looks like a little bit big here, so I'll just reduce it to 24. And our hero and head and header are almost done. So we can fix what we can fix next is our hover effect. And then I noticed that our font is not properly loaded because this here we are using bold, right? Bold font weight, but we did not load it in our theme.json. So I'm gonna also fix that. So we need to fix it. I think right here we can fix it right now quickly. So we basically create another property here, call it here 700, and then font style normal, and here we want to add bold font weight. So I'll just select bold, paste it here, and let's add it here, bold. Let's save it and refresh, and let's see if it works. We should see, okay, now our buttons are bold. About hover, I guess for now, I was just experimenting with the hover, by the way. Yeah, and the hover is, what you can do here is that you can globally style here. If you scroll down in under elements, right, these are all global styles. There we have link here. If we add a button here, and then here we can type hover, which is also another property. Here we can choose background, and actually, no, not background, it's color. Okay, color, and here we have background. Okay, and here we can set any color. So for now, let's just set it to white. And I notice also sometimes that this property is a little bit weak, so let's try to make it important. And let's see if it works. I haven't experimented with hovers too much, so I'm gonna probably prepare it for the future video. Okay, and it's not working. Button hover, color, background. For some reason, yeah, it's not working, probably because we need to apply it for gradient, right? Let's try gradient. So if we set to gradient, it's generating, I think, different property, different from background, right? So let's see. Okay, oh, actually it works here. Doesn't work here. Okay. So I'll just check it. So our navigation already looks fine. I fixed our mobile menu. And so we have fully responsive menu, and we have all the basic styles in place. Our buttons have gradient. So this is one of the hardest parts. Actually, after this should be much easier. In the next videos, we'll just create these sections next. This would be much easier, I think, and we can just move on to these next sections and finish all of that. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.